YouTube, welcome back to part two of the NFL football season preview. So, in the last video, we started talking about the AFC West, and we started off by talking about the reigning division champion, Kansas City Chiefs. So, now we're going to move on to talk about the second place team from a year ago in the AFC West, which was the Los Angeles Chargers. So, last year, I would characterize it as a season where they were ahead of schedule. We did not expect them to go as far as they did, or let alone just make the playoffs. But this year, we might be seeing something very interesting brewing in Los Angeles. So let's go ahead and talk about this team for the season. So, Jim Harbaugh is going to be starting his second season there in Los Angeles. Of course, he left to come to LA after he won the national championship with Michigan. So he came over and he completely revamped the entire offense, made Justin Herbert less vulnerable to mistakes by putting more emphasis on the running game. And then the defense looked the part, and it got them a playoff appearance a year ago. So we look at their projected key starts. Of course, you got Justin Herbert there at quarterback. Last season statistically was one of his best seasons. Actually, probably his best season he's had since he was drafted by the Chargers when he had 23 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions all last season. So the big one is that they went out and got Najee Harris from the Pittsburgh Steelers to be their future running back after they let go. Um, I believe it was Gus Edwards and it was J.K. Dobbins. They let them go. So it'll be Najee Harris and then Omarion Hampton, their first round draft pick out of North Carolina. He'll be the backup running back. Ladd McConkey, and Mike Williams and all those people, Clinton Johnston, they'll be the 1, 2, 3 wide receivers. Will Disley will be the tight end behind in front of Tyler Conklin there. And then their two feature offensive linemen, it will be Rashawn Slater there at the left tackle position, and then Joe Alt there at the right tackle position, which will be key to holding on those ends. And then on the defensive end, we all know Khalil Mack is going to be in there. And then we also have Derwin James there at the safety position. The defense, they look pretty good, I would say. So yeah, who knows what that defense is going to bring this year. So, 162, 209, and one all-time for the Chargers all-time record. They have a losing record against every team in the division. So, let's go ahead and see this schedule that they have. So, their schedule. They will be playing a second place schedule. Of course, they finished 11-6 a year ago. They lost to Houston in the wild card round. So their over under this season is 10.5 wins. So I think this season is going to pose kind of a similar narrative. So they're going to look much better than they did a year ago when they had some, I wouldn't say some questionable losses, but they had some losses that have had you scratching your head a little bit by like getting blown up by 23 against Tampa Bay and losing to the Cardinals um and stuff like that. But they start first game will be Friday night exclusively on YouTube. That will be technically hosting the Kansas City Chiefs in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So then after that, they get a Monday night appearance, 10 o'clock at the Raiders. Their first 3 games are all in the division, so that will be a very interesting way to start your season. So you have to start well with those 3. I have them going 2-1 in that stretch. I have them beating the Giants. I have them winning against the Washington Commanders in that secondary 425 game on Fox in Week 5. And I also have them winning against Miami and the Colts and then Minnesota on Thursday Night Football. So that means before Week 9, I have them starting. That would be 6-1. Now, after that, I think the questionable losses are starting to pop up. I have them losing to the Tennessee Titans, and I have them losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars because they're both going on the road. Those will be 1 o'clock kicks, so I think they're not going to be used to the time change. I think they'll beat the Steelers in the Najee Harris return game for Pittsburgh, so I think they're going to lose that one as well, though. So before the Week 12 bye week, I have them winning 3, 6. So 7 games, so they'll be 7-4 before the Week 12 bye week. And then they play Week 13 will be Thanksgiving, so they'll play the Raiders. I have them winning that one. And then I have them with undoubtedly clinching a playoff spot before Week 18, so they will bench their stars. They will go 12-5, finish in second place behind the Kansas City Chiefs once again in the AFC West, but I do have them losing in the wildcard round once again. All right, so I think Los Angeles. I mean, again, you never know, but there is a lot of momentum with this team, and I'm kind of excited to see what they can bring to here because we are still in the midst of that same old Buffalo, Kansas City, and Baltimore being the dominant forces in the AFC. So we're looking to see some form of shakeup. Cincinnati did that 4 years ago, so we can still call them one of the top dogs, even though they haven't made the playoffs in the last 2 years. But the Chargers are they're building momentum towards that, and I think this year could be quite pivotal for at least the rest of Jim Harbaugh's tenure in Los Angeles and the future that is going to be in front of them as an organization. Alright, so this wraps up my video on the Los Angeles Chargers. In the next video, we will discuss the Denver Broncos, the third place team from a year ago, which was quite a resurgent bunch, I must say. But until then, this is your man Dylan signing off about the Los Angeles Chargers. I'll see you in the next video.